quickly. Hi, Matthew and Alyan and Yuval and Shritza and Johan and Rose, Anya and Salwa. Welcome. Sophia and Vivek and Jason, Matilda and Yannick, Gabby, Christopher, Anya, Rebecca. Welcome. Hi, Simone. Hi, Nithik. Hi, Dramik and Nicholas and Aditi and Terry, Harshika, Faith, Adrian. So many friends are with us today. Rivan, Ray, hello. Hi, Shabuth. And I see Matthew and Ayan and Abir. So good to see you. Hi, Grace. Hi, Soraya. Hello, hello, hello. And if I ever say your name wrong, I'm terribly sorry. I'm just meeting you all. I'm trying my best. Jackson, I see. Hi, everybody. All right. So, Katie's here too, and JC, and Anatika. Nice to meet you all. So, my name is Miss Emma, and hi, Adam. We still have a few people popping in, but that's all right. No matter when you pop in, we're always glad to have you. I'm a teacher, but today I want to pretend to be an explorer. Oh, hello, Ruth. Anybody ever gone exploring before? Maybe some of you. Do you have binoculars? Because we're going to need them. Can I see your binoculars? Hi, Krish. Oh, you guys are good explorers, I can already tell. So today we're going to go somewhere where it's very cold. Raise your hand if you like the cold weather, because today's your day. Because where we are going today is very cold. If you see my globe here, sometimes we think it's only cold in the north, which is at the top. But if you look all the way at the top of the globe, it's the North Pole. Some people say that's where Santa Claus lives, and it's called the Arctic Circle. We're going to go there for a while, and then we're going to go to the South Pole. At the very bottom of the globe, it's also cold. The South Pole is called Antarctica. In order to go there, some of you are telling me in chat, I do not like the winter. I don't like cold. Well, I'm sorry. You're going to have to deal with it today. Thankfully, we'll just be using our imaginations. But I've got a hat. If anybody wants to go get a hat or a winter coat to get you in the mood to travel to the Arctic and the Antarctic. The Arctic is far, far, far north. The Antarctic is far, far, far south. And in the middle of the earth, the equator right here, that's where it's the hottest, around the middle. I see we've got some cold weather fans here with us. You guys are going to help. Now, here's the thing. These animals that live in the cold, cold weather, they don't even need to wear a coat. They are already all set. They have what we call adaptation. Can you say that with me? Adaptations. Adaptations mean a certain way their body works and has figured out how to stay warm even though it's cold. Because they have to live in the cold weather all year round, and they don't have any coats. So we're going to see just what it is that helps them to stay warm. We'll just pretend that we can teleport. We'll take off, or maybe you want to drive a car. Anybody going to drive the car to the North Pole? Anybody going to fly on a plane? How are you going to get there? Fly on a plane? Maybe someone wants to row a boat. And we're actually going to go to the South Pole first, Antarctica, because my favorite polar animal is the penguin. Can I see you waddle like a penguin? They walk so funny. These are their penguin feet, and they go back and forth, waddle, 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 waddle. And I want to see them first. So we are going to go to the South Pole, Antarctica, to see the penguins. Now, penguins, come on now. Penguins, where are you? All right, here we are at, sorry, my penguins. There we go. Oh, here we are at the South Pole. I'm a little cold. I forgot my coat. Oh, Rivan has a hat too. I'm so glad. You got your binoculars? All right, let's take a look and see if we can spy any penguins. If you see some penguins, let me know. I think I see some over there. Come on, let's go. Penguins are friendly. They like us. Look, there are the wind. They're staying huddled up. Penguins love to cuddle. Raise your hand if you ever like to cuddle your mom or dad or a blanket or a stuffed animal. It's kind of nice, and it keeps you warm when it's cold. Penguins are expert cuddlers. They cuddle together in a great big blob, and they slowly waddle along, waddle, 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 and take turns being in the middle of the cuddle blob and being in the outside of the cuddle blob, because the warmest place is in the middle. See how they're all moving around and taking turns to get in the middle of the cuddle blob? The cuddle blob doesn't really have an actual name. Cuddle blob is just what I'm calling it. But that is how penguins have adapted, how they've figured out how to stay warm and how to help each other stay warm. Penguins love to be with their whole colony, their whole group of penguins. So that's why they huddle and cuddle together like that. They do that, yes, Harshnika, they do that so they keep warm. Now, I really like penguins. They are so cute and they're so friendly. They're birds, but they can't fly like other birds. Let's watch these penguins here. Show me how you could fly. I know you can't really, but we'll pretend. Penguins can't fly like other birds, but they flap their wings just like this and fly in the water. So wait till you see. Here they go into the water. We're going to dive in with them. And we are going to see, watch, how they fly underwater. They're shaped like a torpedo. They're very aerodynamic in the water, and they can flap their wings and fly through the water so quickly. I know, it is really cool. I love to watch the penguins fly through the water. They swim so fast that it makes trails of bubbles behind them. So even though they can't fly through the air, they can fly through the water. Their shape is just like a torpedo shape. You can throw it in the water and it goes really fast. Kind of shaped like a football is how penguins are shaped. So if you ever had a football and you threw it in the water, it's kind of how penguins work. Now, this is a penguin superpower. It's my favorite. Somehow they can fly so fast in the water that they shoot up. I'm going to slide out of the way because someone said I'm blocking the video. They can swim so fast that they just shoot up out of the water. Several people asked, a torpedo shape is a football shape, and that's the shape that they are. It is so fun to watch how they fly, 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 shoot through the air. Now, penguins like to do something else fun. They like to sled. Raise your hand if you've ever gone sledding. Penguins do something called tobogganing. Here they go, out by the air. Now they're going to land on their bellies and sled. They toboggan. They slide on their bellies. There they go. See how they slide along like that? Does anybody think that looks like fun? I do. I would love to be able to try that. I think it looks super fun. Now, unlike lots of other animals, if you have a question, you can type it in the chat. Most animals, the mom takes care of the babies. But penguins, the dad takes care of the babies. So I want to go, keep walking along. Oh, they're so fun to watch. And see if we can find some penguin babies with their dad. All right, let's keep going. Get your binoculars. Wow, these penguins look like they're having a great time. They're tobogganing on their bellies. I see some baby penguins. Oh, those are the dad and mom. And oh, look, the baby is tucked right under the dad's belly. That's how the baby stays warm. The dads have a special extra flap of skin on their belly, and the baby can tuck right under to stay warm. Now, the dads also take care of the eggs. Oh, look at that baby. It's so cute. It's so cute. The dads also take care of the eggs. Can you make your hands like penguin feet? Waddle, 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 waddle. The dads have to balance the egg on their waddling feet, which is really a challenge. If you want to try later, what you can do is take a soccer ball or some kind of ball, put your feet together, put the soccer ball on them, and try to waddle along without it rolling away. The dad penguins really watch out for the babies. they even do something that you might think is kind of funny. There's no penguin baby food, and penguins eat fish. So the dad penguins chew the fish. Let me see. Can you guys chew? And then, kind of gross, but it's how penguins work. They spit the chewed up fish right into the baby's mouth. Because the baby penguin can't chew it yet. It's kind of unusual, but it works for penguins. Penguins sleep. Someone's asking in the chat, how do penguins sleep? Remember how they were all cuddled up with their penguin colony in a blob? That's how they sleep. The babies are inside of that cuddle blob. Their heads are down. They're resting. Baby penguins are so cute. They're one of my favorite baby animals. Let's go and see if we can find any other animals. Bye, baby penguins. You are so cute. I hope we see the baby penguins again. Would anybody like a baby penguin as a pet? You can't really have one, but it's fun to imagine. I think they are so cute. All right, now let's see. I wonder what other animals we're going to find. Oh, they're so snowy and cold. I wonder what other animals we might find. Look with me. Let's see. Oh, this animal is not like a penguin at all. This animal is huge. Can you make yourself? How big can you make yourself? This animal is enormous, kind of like an elephant. And this animal is called the king. Can you give yourself a king crown or a queen crown? The king of the Arctic. It has big tusks. Can you make yourself big tusks? Some of you are guessing. Big tusks. And it has whiskers. I wonder what animal it could be. Oh, some of you guessed. It's the walrus. Do you want to go see it? You can say yes or no. Yes, you do? Okay, let's go see the walrus. Now, stay back because that walrus could hurt us by accident. And I don't want to get smashed by a walrus, all right? Here we go. Oh, look, he's swimming. Do you see his whiskers? And his great big tusks? Now, walruses go in the water and on land. When they're on land, they kind of have to push themselves along with their flippers. Try to do that. Right, got your flippers? They have to go push, push, push. And then once they get up, they're so tired from pushing like that that they kind of flop down. It's a lot of work for a walrus to move that big body across the ice or dirt. And they have those tusks. They help them get the food that they need. They eat fish. And now, let me see your teeth. Any of you? Those tusks are their teeth. None of you have tusks like a walrus. Thank goodness. They're specially made to help them get their food. Now, you'll notice that the walrus, he's not very graceful up on land. He's kind of blobbing and rolling. And he looks like he's got a lot of fat, but that fat is his coat. If you go out in the cold, you have to wear a coat. The walrus has a built-in coat. He has about this much fat, and it has a funny name, someone knew. Blubber. Can you say it with me? Blubber. That fat coat he has, all his blubber keeps him warm in the freezing cold water. And no, they can't walk. They just flop along like that. They're much more comfortable swimming. They have two back fins that swim like this. Can you swim with me? They swim with their two back fins. Push, 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 push. And it pushes them through the water. Then when they get up on land, they have to go and push themselves along. They're kind of funny looking. Someone said, why do they have whiskers? Make whiskers with me. Walruses are mammals, just like you and me. That means take a big breath. The walruses breathe air through their lungs. When they go underwater, they have to hold their breath. Mammals also all have this. What am I touching? My hair, or some have fur. So walruses, since they're a mammal, they have to have hair or fur. That's why they have whiskers. Those whiskers are their hair or their fur. Now, a lot of you guys told me in the chat that they're really funny looking. I do think walruses are super funny looking. And they are called king of the Arctic, but I don't know. They're pretty big and kind of scary, but they don't look too fancy to me like a king. Now, I do think, though, that the baby is pretty cute. Does anybody want to see the baby walrus? They're awfully cute. Now, these grown-up walruses, they're almost as big as a car. The baby walrus is probably about as big as you. Walruses don't like to hang out in big groups like the penguins do, but babies and moms, they like to stick together. The babies know how to swim. I'll get out of your way. As soon as they're born, and even the babies have those whiskers. But you might notice that the babies, they go swimming with their two back fins. They go push, 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 push. The babies don't have tusks. They get their tusks as they grow up. Just like a baby person doesn't have teeth yet, a baby walrus doesn't have tusks. Now, I'm going to head out in a boat. We'll boat past the walruses because there's another creature I'm really hoping to find. This creature reminds me of a unicorn. Can you row your boat with me between the ice? Does anybody like unicorns? Raise your hand if you like unicorns. All right, unicorns are not real, but this creature is, and I'm really hoping we find them because I like unicorns, and I think it'd be super cool to find this creature. It's called a narwhal, and many of you are telling me in chat that you love narwhals. Narwhals have a special tooth. Wait till you see it. They have a special tooth. Whoops, I'm going to hit play. That looks like a horn. Now, look at that horn. Can you make a horn? Here's what's crazy. Here's what's crazy about the narwhal's horn. It's not actually a horn. It's actually a tooth. On the left side of their body, their tooth pokes out. Make your left tooth poke out. On the right side of their body, it's just plain. It goes right through their lip. Can you imagine if you had one tooth? Let me see your teeth. Narwhals have one tooth that goes right out through their lip, grows out huge and long. All their other teeth are just small and normal. I don't know why they're like that, but I think it's pretty funny. And I think their horns are beautiful. Now, something that some people don't know is that their horns have feeling in them. If you were to touch a narwhal's horn, they could feel you touching it. But the scientists that study narwhals, they asked us not to touch them because there are not very many narwhals left and they're wild animals. So it's important to give them their own space. We'll just stay on our boat and watch them because they are so cool to watch. Now, their tusk, their one tooth that pokes out, can be as long as a basketball hoop. That's really tall. That's about 2 times as tall as me. Can you imagine if you had one tooth that stuck out? It's long, as long as they are tall. It's really, really long. Why is their tooth so long? It's just the way that they've adapted. They use it to kind of knock things out of the way, and if they need to poke whatever they're going to eat. There they are with their tusks. That's what it's called. Their left tooth is called their tusk. They're also a mammal, so they have to hold their breath. Ready? They can hold their breath for about a half an hour because mammals breathe air. So they could hold their breath for this whole class. I'm so glad that some of you guys like narwhals. I do too. Now, before we go, we don't have too much more time, but there's an animal that I really like. And I really like this animal, but I have a little problem. It's at the North Pole. Do you think we have time to get to the North Pole? We've been out in the water here with these narwhals, but let's see if we can paddle over to the North Pole. Are you ready? Paddle with me. All right, we made it. Good paddling. Let's jump out onto the land, get our binoculars. This animal is huge, but it's white. That means it's camouflaged. Camouflaged means it matches its surroundings. So a white animal on this white snow is not too easy to see because it's camouflaged. It walks on 4 legs. Yes, you guys are guessing it. A polar bear. An Arctic fox was another great guess, but this animal is big. Let's see if we can find a polar bear. I see one. Okay, good. Let's get a little closer. Wow, this is a mother polar bear. I think she just had cubs, you guys. Cubs are the baby polar bears, and she's climbing out of the den. Mother cubs dig. Can I see you dig? Here comes the baby. Oh, it's so cute. Mother bears dig a big hole in the snow called a den, and that's where they have their babies. Their babies are called cubs, and the babies are born in the den, and then they have to climb out. And they're all kind of sliding down the hill together like they're going sledding. The babies are just learning to walk. Look how cute those baby polar bears are. Baby polar bears are about the size of a big dog. And I think they look pretty cuddly to me, but we better not mess with them. Because if you go near a baby polar bear, that mama polar bear is going to get mad. And you do not want a mad mama polar bear running after you, because that would be a bad situation. Now, I'm going to tell you my favorite polar bear fact while we watch these cute babies. My favorite polar bear fact is this. Polar bear fur is not white. I always used to think it was. But actually, their fur is clear, kind of like my cup. You can see right through it. And it reflects the sun like a mirror. That means that it keeps them warm. Now, under their fur, their skin, let me see your skin. Their skin is black, like my hat, because black soaks up heat. If you've ever been outside on a hot day and you touch a black car is so hot. Or if you're walking on black cement called asphalt, it's so hot because black soaks up the light from the sun to warm up. Polar bear skin soaks up that light. Let's keep walking to see if we see any more polar bears. This one's going to swim. Wow, polar bears are great swimmers, even though they're so big. Notice how their paws are huge. Can you make a big polar bear paw like this? And they're kind of cupped so they can push the water. They paddle with their paws. I'm trying to get out of your way here. You can see a little bit their black skin as the water moves their fur under the water. Just like us, polar bears are mammals. Take a big breath. So they have to pop their heads up to breathe just like we would. They paddle, and usually when they're swimming, they're looking for ice. Polar bears love to sit on ice floes. Those are big chunks of ice that float along in the water. Now, I saw somebody ask me, do polar bears eat humans? No, that's not what they would like to eat. They eat big fish and some other animals that live in the north, where they live, in the Arctic. But if you bother their babies, they would probably attack you. So you don't want to bother the polar bear babies. Now, polar bears have that cool black skin that soaks up the heat. They also have a blubber coat, just like the walruses. Remember how the walruses had that fat and blubber to use as their coat? So polar bears have many ways to stay warm. Because if you got in that water and your hair got all wet, then you'd feel freezing cold. If their fur got all wet, you might think they'd feel freezing cold, but their fur is special to help them stay warm. There they go. They're climbing up along. It was so cool to see the polar bears. All right, guys, let's keep walking in case we see any other animals. And let's review the animals we saw so far. Now, this is the kind of place where a polar bear would love to be. They love to sit on those ice floes. Today we saw, I'm going to scooch to the middle so you can see me better, 4 animals. We saw penguins. They waddled. They could not fly, but they did swim and fly through the water. We learned that they huddle together to keep warm and that the dads take care of the babies. They even take care of their eggs. You might want to try to do a penguin egg later. Then we met the king of the Arctic. He had big tusks and whiskers. A walrus. A walrus is as big as a car. And we saw the baby walrus too. The baby walrus didn't have tusks yet. Remember, they flopped along with their flippers on land, and they swam with their back fins through the water. They had a thick coat of blubber fat to keep them warm. After that, we met the sea unicorn, the narwhal, who had a 10-foot-long left tooth. Can you make your tusk? And just a regular other tooth. They were pretty crazy looking. And then finally, we met a polar bear. We learned that their fur is clear and their skin is black so it can soak up the heat from the sun. Then we saw how they swim with their big paddly paws. We also saw how the mother bear digs a hole to have her babies in. That was pretty cool. I see lots of questions and I will answer them. But let me know first, which of those 4 animals was your favorite? Polar bears are about the size, Nilesi, polar bears are about the size of any other bear. Definitely bigger than a human. They weigh several hundred pounds. You can vote for what your favorite animal was. And if you have another question, you can pop it in the chat and I will do my best to answer it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to ask you a few questions to see how much you learned about polar animals on our trip, and I'll answer your questions too. Hey, polar bears were the favorite, then penguins, then narwhals, then walruses. I really liked seeing these polar animals with you. I'm so glad, Janice, that you like all of them. Now, we have a few questions for you to see how much you learned. This animal huddles together to keep warm. Oh, there were so many. Soraya was asking, what about Arctic foxes? Maybe we can do even another class. There were so many animals, we couldn't talk about them all. Yes, penguins huddle together to keep warm. Nicely done. All right, next question is, what color is a polar bear's skin? Remember, it soaks in the sun. It keeps them warm. Their skin does. Narwhals have babies not in eggs like a penguin, just regular narwhal babies. All right, good job, guys. A polar bear's skin is black. I am impressed. You have good memories. All righty, let's see. The next question. A narwhal's tusk is on its head, or is it a tooth growing out of its mouth? This is something not many people know. Now you can be a narwhal expert. Good job. How long can a polar bear hold their breath? Let me see if that's in my note. That was a good question. You know, I don't know, but I can look it up. When I read it, it was about 15 or 20 minutes, I'm pretty sure. But I can double check on that for you. Utara, I can double check. Yes, it's a tooth in its mouth. Good job. All right, we've got 1 or 2 more questions. I'm looking up how long can a polar bear hold its breath. This animal is called King of the Arctic. No, Prognaga, polar bears are not friendly. They are not. You would want to stay away from them. Polar bears usually swim with their heads up like this, like we saw, because they can only hold their breath for a few minutes. Utara, they cannot hold their breath for as long as those other animals. Yes, walruses are called King of the Arctic. They can hold their breath for a very long time. Someone's asking, are penguins rare? They're not. There are lots of penguins in the world. Who takes care of the baby penguin? This is a question for you. The mom or the dad? Let's see what you learned. Alrighty, and after this question, good job, the dad. It's unusual in the animal kingdom, but the dad penguin takes care of the babies. So thank you guys for joining me. We are all out of time. Varshini, yes, narwhals are